I think going forward, yeah, this is going to be something much bigger. I'm getting a little bit more into it myself. My brother John's been into it for multiple years, but I think this is something that we're all adapting to slowly, but we are adapting to it. And some of us probably have gotten there too slowly. And I'm in that camp.
What I'm about to show you should not be downplayed. The significance of this, I think, is unbelievable. See, most people will not realize this until Bitcoin is at a much higher price point than it is today. And I'm talking about the perception shift that has happened just this year around Bitcoin. I keep trying to show you this stuff. For the first time in Bitcoin's 12-year history, we have a CNBC anchor who has revealed that he owns Bitcoin and he will probably get some more Bitcoin. At least that was the implication. Followed by a co-host, another CNBC anchor, who reassures the CNBC audience Bitcoin is legitimate. You haven't heard about this yet because this was actually buried behind the main segment. See, the main segment was also bullish. It was Michael Sonnenschein, an executive at Grayscale, being interviewed about Bitcoin surging to new 2020 highs, 90% up year to date. And as soon as this segment ends, Melissa Lee, the main host, throws it over to CNBC co-anchor Pete Najirin and asks him, hey, how are you feeling about Bitcoin in your portfolio? So watch this, like the video, subscribe, and then we'll discuss.
Great to get your thoughts. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Michael Sonnenschein of Grayscale. Pete Najirin, how are you feeling about Bitcoin as a placeholder in your portfolio today versus, say, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think people have gotten a lot more comfortable with it, Mel, than they were a couple of years ago. I think every year that goes by, people find a little bit more comfort. Obviously, the Jamie Dimons of the world and so many others that weren't involved initially have sort of started to get involved a little bit. And so I think going forward, yeah, this is going to be something much bigger. I'm getting a little bit more into it myself. My brother John's been into it for multiple years, but I think this is something that we're all adapting to slowly, but we are adapting to it. And some of us probably have gotten there too slowly. And I'm in that camp because this is a category that's absolutely been on fire. I know it's volatile, but it certainly is a category that's gone just absolutely parabolic versus the markets.
Tim, quick thought here.
I think the next part of this trade is to go into the broader, digital currency markets. And again, we've seen this before, and a rally in Bitcoin is pulling broader currencies. I think you just have to be very careful, but the legitimacy is there. I don't think there's a question about that. I think it's really people need to do their work on outside of Bitcoin where there's opportunities, because I think there are many.
This is amazing because we all remember how things used to be. For years, for 10, 11 years, when a guest was brought on CNBC to talk about Bitcoin, that guest was met with heavy skepticism. This clip from 2014 says it all, but this was the reaction you probably got on CNBC even just 2 years ago.
Bitcoin were to really take hold in human society, then the total circulation value will be in the trillions. And to get from 0 to trillions is going to be a bumpy ride. It can't go there immediately.
It would be quite a ride if it did. I want to ask you, because Bitcoin it's digital. It's a barcode that you get once you put money in. Who's to stop anybody else from creating another Bitcoin?
That's an excellent question.
Now, to be completely fair to Melissa Lee, we don't actually know her personal thoughts about Bitcoin, but it seems to me that where there once was an air of skepticism, now there's an air of legitimacy. And to prove this, let me actually show you this. Let's watch the main clip with the executive from Grayscale. They bring him on specifically to talk about how Bitcoin has a place in everybody's portfolio. Let's watch Melissa Lee closely and try and figure out how she feels about Bitcoin. Watch this.
Welcome back. We've got a Bitcoin alert. The cryptocurrency is surging to its highest level in nearly 3 years. It is now up in 9 of the past 11 days. Let's bring in Michael Sonnenschein. He's the managing director of Grayscale Investments, the largest asset manager in the digital currency space. Michael, great to speak with you.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
BTC is also up 25% this month alone. And I'm wondering, what do you think is a primary driver of this rise? Especially because, we're just about a week away from the election. Does that have something to do with this?
I think what we're seeing is that Bitcoin has really solidified its role as digital gold in investor portfolios. Investors are telling us that Bitcoin warrants a place in their portfolios because they're living in a world characterized by digital exchanges and not physical ones. And it's not just investors telling this. We're seeing the same kind of reports of research coming out from major banks like JP Morgan. And what's interesting is that Bitcoin continues to get challenged. And each time it does, it comes out stronger. And honestly, 2020 has been no exception to that rule. This year, we saw this past spring, one day where Bitcoin drew down almost 50% in a single day. And now Bitcoin's returned to almost 90% year to date, which is broadly outperforming the equity markets and a lot of other asset classes. So investors really just can't ignore it anymore.
How excited were you when Paul Tudor Jones was on Squawk Box and he talked up Bitcoin? I mean, were you high-fiving your partners over at Grayscale?
There have been a lot of good tailwinds. We've seen PayPal meaningfully enter the space, public companies like Square and MicroStrategy adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. And yes, we're certainly seeing it at Grayscale. We've brought in over $2.5 billion in new investor money this year, which is more than double our cumulative inflows from 2013 all the way through last year. So we're seeing growth on all fronts.
This is the new normal. The way people talk about Bitcoin, the rhetoric associated with Bitcoin, the way Bitcoin is perceived by the mainstream media and the outside world. The new normal is Bitcoin is being seen as an ultimate savings vehicle, the ultimate store value to store and exchange value. People are asking themselves, why are so many people, companies, and countries choosing to use Bitcoin over the dollar as a store and exchange of value? And you guys know the answer. One is losing value year over year, being inflated away. One cannot be inflated away, is gaining value. And because Bitcoin has no single point of failure, people are realizing it's damn near impossible to stop this thing. And every year that Bitcoin continues to sustain, let alone thrive, is another year where people realize that Bitcoin is just a part of our lives now, nothing to be afraid of. So happy 12th birthday, Bitcoin. Happy Halloween. It's actually the 12th birthday of Bitcoin's white paper, which is interesting. To celebrate Bitcoin's 12th birthday, buying Bitcoin has been profitable 99% of the time. So unless you bought Bitcoin right at the very peak of the last cycle, you're in profit. We started our channel right around here. So it seems like 99.999% of people who bought Bitcoin since our channel has been around is in profit, which is pretty exciting. And if you, like me, believe that Bitcoin is the best savings vehicle of all time, if you believe that Bitcoin has decades of upside ahead of it, start cost averaging Bitcoin today as little as $10 a day, $50 a week. I mean, literally whatever you want in any time frame you want. $10 free, swanbitcoin.com/Aaron T. Arnold. Look for this. This is legitimately, I've looked at all places, the cheapest way to buy/cost average Bitcoin, cheaper than Coinbase, cheaper than Square, and zero withdrawal fee. It's the withdrawal fee that kills you, in my opinion. So definitely swanbitcoin.com/Aaron T. Arnold, link below. And to conclude this video, I just want to say, I've been talking to a lot of different people in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. I mean, Bitcoin companies, crypto companies. There is an air of excitement in this space. A lot of people are comparing it to late 2016, early 2017, and I happen to agree. I think we're going to see something, not the same, but very similar, with Bitcoin leading the charge, gaining value. I think we're going to see plenty of altcoins popping as well. I mean, I don't show you this stuff all the time, but there's tons of videos of notable people like Tim Draper comes to mind, going on TV, still talking about tokenizing everything. Web 3.0 seems to be a big trend. Gaming seems to be a big trend. DeFi is still a big trend. Tokenizing things is still a big trend. So I am bullish on Bitcoin. I'm also bullish on speculating on altcoins. I don't think the world is coming at this from the point of view as Bitcoin maximalists. And I think because this is such a nascent market, at a certain point, we're going to see things just start popping off. So that's where my head's at. You guys let me know your thoughts below. See you tomorrow.